When the mosque, long and domeless, gleamed at the turn of the road, she exclaimed, "Oh yes, that's where I got to. That's where I've been." "Been there when?" asked her son. "Between the acts." "But mother, you can't do that sort of thing." "Can't mother?" she replied. "No, really not in this country. It's not done. There's the danger from snakes for the one thing. They're apt to lie out in the evening." "Oh yes, so the young man there said." "This sounds very romantic," said Miss Quested, who was exceedingly fond of Mrs. Moore, and was glad she should have had this little escapade. "You meet a young man in a mosque, and then never let me know." "I was going to tell you, Adela, but something changed the conversation and I forgot. My memory grows deplorable." "Was he nice?" She paused, then said emphatically, "Very nice." "Who was he?" Ronnie inquired. "A doctor. I don't know his name." "A doctor? I know no young doctor in Chandrapur. How odd. What was he like?" "Rather small, with a little moustache and quick eyes. He called out to me when I was in the dark part of the mosque about my shoes. That was how we began talking. He was afraid I had them on, but I remembered, luckily. He told me about his children, and then we walked back to the club. He knows you well." "I wish you had pointed him out to me. I can't make out who he is." "He didn't come into the club. He said he wasn't allowed to." Thereupon the truth struck him, and he cried, "How good gracious! Not a Mohammedan! Why ever didn't you tell me you'd been talking to a native? I was going all wrong." "A Mohammedan? How perfectly magnificent!" exclaimed Miss Quested. "Ronnie, isn't that like your mother? While we talk about seeing the real India, she goes and sees it and then forgets she's seen it." But Ronnie was ruffled. From his mother's description, he had thought the doctor might be young Muggins from over the Gange, and had brought out all the comradely emotions. What a mix-up! Why hadn't she indicated by the tone of her voice that she was talking about an Indian? Scratchy and dictatorial, he began to question her. "He called you to you in the mosque, did he? How? Impudently. What was he doing there himself at that time of night?" "No, it's not their prayer time." This in answer to a suggestion of Miss Quested to show the keenest interest. "So he called to you over your shoes? Then it was impudence. It's an old trick. I wish you had them on." "Indian?" "I think it was impudence, but I don't know about a trick," said Mrs. Moore. "His nerves were all on edge. I could tell from his voice. As soon as I answered, he altered." "You oughtn't to have answered." "Now, look here," said the logical girl. "Wouldn't you expect a Mohammedan to answer if you asked him to take off his hat in church?" It's different. You don't understand." "I know I don't, and I want to. What is the difference, please?"
The gulf between rulers and ruled, between white and coloured, is only the most obvious of the divisions between man and man presented in this novel. In the opening description of Chandrapur, the three levels of the city, each inhabited by a different racial group, presents a social stratification which might be thought peculiar to the imperial situation. But the narrative soon forces us to realize that there are many more divisions in India than the empire can be held responsible for. The two ladies, Adela Quested and Mrs. Moore, come from England to Chandrapur on the river Ganges. Miss Quested is coming to visit Mrs. Moore's son Ronnie with the prospect of getting married. Being new to India, they are interested in visiting places and meeting Indians socially. They talk in a friendly way, and she returns to the club where a play is being performed and talks to her son. There are the divisions of class and wealth, for example, and still more of religion and of caste, which seems essential, inevitable features of the Indian scene.